And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that break. Hope you enjoyed the lovely audio and commentary from the Polish casters. Thank you. Thank you so much. But yes, we finally have our series. Both Krystianer and Elazer are set up here on the stage in front of everyone, and we're ready for some more ZvP action.
Yeah, we got some top tier gamers ready to go, and here they are on altitude, spawning in the top right hand corner of the map for Team Liquid. It is Zerg in the red, Elazer.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Polish Protoss player representing Team Blazer. It is Krystianer. Did you hear the trumpets?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Did I hear the trumpets?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Oh god. But yeah, we're getting into this lovely ZvP. I imagine a very different ZvP compared to the one that we just casted. Don't worry, Asher. We'll get you some Terrans, bud. We'll get you some Terrans. Okay. We just look. We have to feature some of the Zergs and Protoss before they get eliminated. Okay, like we did.
That's cool. As yeah, it's gonna be a really interesting matchup between these two players. Elazer, I think of him sort of as the greed lord of Zergs. Mm-hmm. He kind of likes to really push the limit of just how greedy that you can be with this race. So expecting to see things like all three spores getting skipped against an Oracle opener. Things like just droning as much as you can get away with against those kind of openers as well. Yeah. 80 drones against Terran before the first push, that kind of crazy stuff. He is one that does really push the limits of what you can do in terms of greed with Zerg.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really cool to see when he executes it. It's really rough to see whenever Chappie tries to emulate him. Because everything
so brutal. I can't even agree with you because I have to play against Chappie every now and then, and it's very hard to play against.
You say that. I can't count the amount of times that I've casted Chappie specifically in a ZvP. He skips out on all the spores and he loses like 10 drones to the Oracle harassment.
That's the thing, like Elazer does as well. It's actually okay. I mean, I know it's only 1 or 2 spores, but honestly, if you just lose 10 drones and then keep droning through it, it tends to go a bit better than it intuitively should.
Yeah, I think we've casted Elazer. It was a couple of months ago at this point, but you just like triggered a memory that we have casted him before, where
Creator.
Yeah, maybe Creator. Creator versus Elazer, where Elazer he loses so many drones, he loses quite a lot of workers to the harass, but because his macro is so on point, it just doesn't even phase him. It doesn't even matter.
It was against Creator on Ancient Cistern, and Creator did the worst all-in ever, and I still don't know why he keeps on doing it. He has this like Immortal Sentry all-in, and I remember watching him again against someone else later on, and he got heaps and heaps of damage with the Adept in the Oracle again, and I'm like, oh no, he's gonna do the Sentry Immortal all-in, and he did, and it didn't work. The exact same thing happened. So yeah, I think it's a little bit that the follow-up of Creator was really bad, but it's also Elazer sometimes. If you just drone through the pain and you get to this really high drone count a lot earlier than you should with 0 units, you are going to take damage, but as long as you hold on, sometimes that's fine. It's a little bit weird.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very, very narrow kind of road that you have to walk here, and we'll see if Elazer can walk that road against Krystianer, especially. He can be quite an aggressive player, and of course he's well aware of who he's up against as well. Coming into this tournament, they were aware of it ahead of time, and I'm sure Krystianer has had a moment here to actually, look at or study his opponents and get ready here for this PvZ, get ready for someone like Elazer, for someone like Spirit, the big favorites of this tournament. So I'm really curious to see how he does play this out. For now, Stargate opener for now at third base. Everything is looking pretty normal from our Protoss.
Yeah, and as we said might happen, Elazer has skipped out on those spores. A little bit of miscontrol here from Krystianer, but he is going to be going back in, getting some extra kills on those drones. Really nice move, splitting up the Oracles, and it's going to pay off big time.
Yeah, 6 drones do go down. A nice amount of damage done here by Krystianer, punishing that Spore for not being done. We can see no Spore in the main base either, but a Laser, oh, even getting a little bit supply block here as well, losing one of his Overlords. So not the best of times, but he's been in worse situations before.
Yeah, and I mean, look at that. You look at the production tab when he loses 6 drones, 12 in production. I mean, he's only on 4 lings and he's not making any more. So because he cuts all these corners, because he only drones, I think 6 drones for that much Oracle damage is actually not that bad. And now that he kills the Oracle as well, it's very good. But yeah, you can see his trademark greed here. He is going well past that 60 drone count, and he is only on 4 lings still.
Yeah, exactly. And continue to drone up. There we go. We have a handful of links on the way to help deal with the Adepts. The Adepts are now hitting the field. But Krystianer, for the most part, he's being very safe with this. He is shading backwards towards his third base. He's looking to saturate his bases and macro out of this. Oh, interesting. Goes for additional gateways. He is going for his Twilight Council follow-up, going for Immortal production.
Yeah, he is making sentries and immortals. I'm a little bit worried. I mean, we have a couple of sentries there over at the third. They are brighter than the actual sun, so it's always good to see. I have not really seen this skin before, and it's hurting my eyes so much.
I think it's the Purifier skin, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, they have hit the field. We are going to be working towards an Immortal Archon kind of composition. We saw something very similar out of Bapi earlier today as well. So yeah, it looks like Krystianer is maybe a little bit fond of it. It's going to take a while for it to really kick in, but it is going to hit hard, and we'll see if Elazer can be, if his greed can be punished with it.
Yeah, you can see Elazer's queen movement is really fantastic. Every time these oracles get anywhere near the bases, they are being shooed away by the queens. Because as well, so much hull damage has been put on these oracles, they really can't get too frisky trying to jump into these bases and snipe drones.
Yeah, exactly. They just cannot. As we just see once again, the Oracles, they dive in, actually getting a lot of damage done. Both Oracles will barely survive. Another 6 drones go down. Once again, no Spore in the main base. Yeah, nice damage. Oh my god.
Yeah, splits back in that one Oracle as well. I really like this move. He's done it a couple times now, and it's been incredibly successful for him. So that's going to be 4 more drones going down. We can see Elazer still on a very healthy drone count. Just going to top himself back up, and is over 80 drones already at this point, and just pumping Ling Bane. So yeah, this is why he's such a hard player to play against, because he's skipping all these defensive measures, but he's just daring you. He's saying to you, if you want to commit to getting damage, you're going to have to get a lot more than you normally get. And if you don't, I'm going to be so far ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And he can afford to do so, especially against his style like Krystianer, because he didn't go Blink Stalkers. He's not being too active with a ground army. Elazer, he's getting away with actually not making any roaches for making the minimal amounts of links as well. Especially because we're on altitude, right? Because of how large this map is, like, he's gotten away with it.
Yeah, if you can be really on point with your scouting and with your pressure, you can get away with pretty much not having to make the bulk of the units until the army comes across the map. You can see the crit spread's pretty good here as well from Elazer, but I think this is kind of why we don't see this style so much at the much higher levels, the more defensive style, not going for the Blink Stalker pressure as you were talking about, just because the Zerg can get away with a lot, and a player as good as Elazer is going to be able to recognize that and exploit it.
Exactly. And there are players that will just absolutely kill you if you try to do that. Players like Hero, players like Classic, players like even Max Packs as well. But Krystianer, he is going to the late game. He's walling up here on the right-hand side as well, throwing down stasis traps. Again, being hyper defensive against an army that isn't looking to be too aggressive. And Elazer, he's just taking up even further. We have a Hive on the way, Spire as well.
Yeah, I really like that he's adding on the Spire now. I have to assume that this is looking towards the late game.
I mean, look at this. We have a wall of cannons, a wall of shield batteries. Krystianer, I imagine he wants to go into Skytoss before that can happen. Elazer is here to try and stop him, try and slow him down. At the same time, we have Lings counterattacking on the right-hand side as well. Krystianer shouldn't be losing too much, but he's being contained here to these 4 bases.
Yeah, with the 2 groups of Lings on either side, there is no way that he's going to be able to take a 5th. And looks like Elazer even trying to put on that extra pressure, just trading out some of his units as he starts to build a bank. He doesn't really need this much. I love as well that he hasn't made any Banelings. That's such a good way just to eke out a little bit of extra greed as the Zerg player here.
Yeah, exactly. And behind this, Krystianer still hasn't taken up. There we go. It's a little bit late. I think we both would have liked this a little bit earlier, but there we go. 2 more Stargates to throw down, a Fleet Beacon as well. We are trying to work towards Skytoss, but Elazer, he already has a Spire. It's already done. He can already start working on those upgrades.
Yeah, as you say that, I would definitely like to see +1 air being started up here. I think that could have been ahead of that of the Protoss, but at this point, it might come down to whether Elazer can get that extra Overseer Scout. Not sure if it's something that we see a lot from him, but I know Cyril at this point would be having Overseers coming in and out of those bases constantly.
Yeah, 100%. Just to get an eye on the timing of the transition. And I think this also shows us that we aren't really suspecting SkyToss yet. We have a Greater Spire first, which is typically what you want to go for if you're up against Ground Toss. Of course, Broodlords, they have their role against SkyToss, don't get me wrong. But as you were saying, I do think a heads up on the upgrades would have been maybe a little bit better.
Yeah, have a look at this. We have 80 Banelings being morphed in. Elazer's had enough. He is going for the kill move here, and he is sick of waiting around. He is not going to let this turtle up to SkyToss happen unpunished. He has to be careful of the Storm here, though.
Yeah, Storm is looking to connect, but at the same time, we have Bangs rolling in towards the third base as well. The Storms are not there in time. The Mineral Line does go down.
Yeah, Mineral Line going to be going down on the left. Mineral Line mostly gets out on the right, but these Banelings, they're just going to walk out. They just mess stuff up and they walk straight back out of here. That mining on the left is not really going to be able to resume either. We have to wait for these Banelings to be taken out, and they're going to be taking down at least that pylon with them as well.
Oh, they're going for the Mineral Line, and it looks like they get the pylon. They get a couple more probes. 30 probes in total do go down. And I believe it would have been close, but I think the carriers were barely spotted by those Banelings, as well as we have another Baneling run by coming on in. This time the Nexus goes down.
Yeah, looks like we had a bit of a recall on High Templars to try to get the Storms happening earlier, but Elazer just smashing through. He's hitting the left now as well. This Nexus is going to be in a lot of trouble. The Cracklings just kill it so fast. And suddenly, just like that, despite turtling on 4 bases, despite all of the batteries, all the cannons, Elazer still finds the damage. And I do think this is why Elazer is such a favorite of a lot of Zergs, is just because he has such straightforward, simple game plans. This entire game was so well crafted, so straightforward, and so effective.
Yeah, it's just drone, be as greedy as possible here, contain my opponents, and then just go for this mass Baneling run by these mass Baneling counterattacks. Krystianer is now all in. He has a pretty formidable army, don't get me wrong, but Elazer is about to max out. He's diving in with his Link, forcing out these Storms as well. The Corruptor count is being banked up back at home as well.
Yeah, Elazer has spared no expense with the static defense here, and I think that is very warranted. He wants to make sure that he buys himself enough time for these Broodlords to come out, and that's exactly what he's done here. Looks like the Spores and the Queens together will take out every single Interceptor, and the Broodlords, they can reign supreme. GG.
GG, well played. Elazer takes game number 1 in a very confident, very dominant fashion, really showing his prowess here. If he is allowed to drone, then he can get out of control.
Yeah, I mean, great one for Zerg players there. Such a straightforward game plan. Just straight to 80 drones, Lings and Roaches, and don't morph Banelings until you have enough to turn every single Ling into a Baneling when you have +2.
Yeah, I mean, he had a massive gas bank. I think just before he morphed in those Banelings, he had like 2k gas in the bank or something. Like, it was insane how much he had just been working towards, and then it all just culminated in that one big push where Krystianer wasn't able to react in time. We saw some Storms on the right-hand side, but no Storms over on the left. It was just too much happening at once for Krystianer to keep up with.
Yeah, it's so smart. It's just +2 Banelings, good. Pre+2 Banelings, expensive, not good. There we go.
There you go.
Plan, strategy.
One is greater than the other. Oh boy. So yeah, really well done there by Elazer. Krystianer, I don't mind how he played out altitude. For the most part, like, it makes sense. We see it a lot on altitude, right? For Protoss players to turtle up on 4 bases and go into SkyToss. But I do feel like he wasn't correctly identifying what Elazer was up to. He invested a lot into Immortals early on, Archons early on, High Templar early on. I do think that likewise, kind of like Elazer, if he wanted to, he could have probably tried to tech up a little bit faster and get into SkyToss a lot faster as well.
Yeah, I think if you're going to play something a bit more middle of the road there, you do need to have some kind of mid-game pressure, even if it's just something like just a few Zealots and a couple Archons, just putting a bit of pressure on the main or putting a bit of pressure on that triangle area. I think you do need to make sure that you're forcing a little bit of units out from the Zerg and gaining just a bit of tempo as well.
Yeah, like now that you bring it up, that's the reason why players like Creator, players like Showtime as well, they are the two other, I would say, probably the two top tier players that play this style the most often, where you just turtle up like this and stay on 4 bases and work towards a maxed out army. They hit these really interesting Archon drop timings, right? Where they get their Temple Archives out, they get a War Prism out, and they go for these Archons at these like really weird moments to try to harass and try to keep the Zerg player back, force out units, get more worker kills alongside their oracles as well, and it can give you the breathing room you need to actually get into that late game composition. It's something that Krystianer was lacking there in that game.
Yeah, definitely. I think it can be tempting when you know that you might not be the favored player to try to have a very simple game plan where you're not really taking the fight to your opponent. But I think that is one of the beautiful things about StarCraft is you can't really cheat it. Like you do have to just go for it. And a lot of the times when you do just go for it, you can be a bit more successful than you might expect.
Definitely. Something quickly to add as well is Showtime does something really interesting every single time he goes for this kind of late game style, this turtle style. He actually doesn't go for 3 oracles. He actually makes 4, and the reason for that is that he actually splits up his oracles and he has 2 and 2, and then he does try to harass you on both sides of the map at once, just because he knows that for the most part he's being very defensive with the rest of his army. So you might as well just squeeze out as much as you can out of your initial oracles as well. So it's really interesting how he like adapts his style.
Yeah, that's pretty cool actually. I haven't really seen that before, but that sounds solid.
Oh, so we'll see. We'll see how Krystianer does adapt over the course of this series. Game 1 is in the books, but it's a best of 3. We have at least one more game ahead of us, and Game 2 is going to be taking place on Ancient Cistern.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to have another big map here, so I definitely want to see Krystianer putting on a little bit more pressure this time around.
Oh, yeah. We'll see if he can. I hope so. As you kind of mentioned, it's a very similar map to Altitude. It isn't as wide open, but still a large map nonetheless. So yeah, we're gonna need to see something different here from Krystianer. I say something different, or maybe a more refined variation if he wants to go to the late game.
Yeah, pretty crazy. You know, this Terran map pool of giant maps with 9 bases each. It is.
How
do you survive as a Zerg? It's crazy.
You don't. I'm glad that you're dabbling in Zerg recently. Asher has opened your mind and opened your eyes, and now you also realize it is a Terran pool.
Yeah, totally. Can't wait for the next map pool. It's gonna be so many tiers. We're like, wait, that was the Zerg pool.
Oh god, yeah. Hopefully we get some more Zerg favorite maps. I agree, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with the next map pool. What are you talking? You're an animal, Puffy. You're an animal. As spawning in the bottom left corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the Polish Zerg player himself representing Team Liquid. It is Elazer.
And in the top right, playing for Blazer, in the lovely pink, it is Krystianer.
Yeah, he's the pink Polish Protoss player.
Yeah, we'll be minimalist. It's fine.
Yeah.
Probe. Pink. Blocking. Flourishing.
It's what he was lacking in that last game. Am I crazy? What was he pink last game? Wasn't he pink?
My memory does not work visually. You could tell me he was bright orange or yellow, I'd believe you.
Oh, okay. He was black, Papi. Oh.
Yeah, that would look cool, actually. I don't think you can be black, can you?
I don't think so. Also, could you handle the observing for a moment? I need to answer the door.
Yes. Okay. Wait, how do I? Okay. Alrighty. So we do have a pretty standard player coming out here. He's gone. Guys, he's gone. Riot. Riot in the chat. Shakira's still here. Don't riot too hard. Just the normal amount. Everyone says Zerg OP. So we do have Elazer being forced to take the unnatural natural here. Gonna be continuing to mine gas as well, so everything looking pretty standard so far.
Yeah, everything looking pretty standard. Did I miss anything, Poppy? Did I miss anything?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
I ordered HSP. Yeah.
Man, I didn't get HSPs for such a long time, and then I ordered one last weekend, and it was incredible, and I'm a little bit addicted now.
I was gonna say it's dangerous, Poppy. It's dangerous. Like
It is.
if you're ever on a HSP drought and you have it again, it's everything your mind thinks of. It's addicting.
I actually never liked them, but I think the hummus has changed things for me because the hummus on the kebabs, I'm still not fully convinced, but hummus on HSP is like peak gaming. It kind of stops the HSP from being too heavy. Because that was my main complaint with HSP, that it was just like dirty and heavy and nasty and carbs and sauces, and it was just kind of all a bit too much. But the hummus kind of breaks it up a little bit. It's got like a bit of acidity to it.
Yeah, it's like a little bit refreshing, you know. It just adds a little bit. There's an extra layer there to the HSP.
I don't feel like I'm suffocating when I'm eating the HSP.
But I'm surprised you said that you didn't like it earlier, but you still ate it. Is that? Or did you
the
just
hummus
not like
on the
it
kebab's weird. I'm still not really sure about it because I feel like the kebab, you've already got the salad, so like you don't need it. But the HSP needs it.
Yeah. There you go. Have you know that of course I have hummus on my HSP, and I'm not gonna eat it yet, but I do know that it's gonna be a long cast, so I've got it ready to go inside me.
Yeah, make sure you sneak a bit when we get a break.
Yeah. Just a tip.
That's the other good thing about HSP compared to a kebab. A kebab, I feel like you can't really eat just a little bit because it's like such a mess. But an HSP, you can kind of pick at it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just like take one bite of a kebab. No, like if you start it, you have to.
No, yeah. Once you open it, it's like starting an operation. Like you wouldn't start an operation and then just like leave them cut open and then go and get a drink, walk off, fix your hair, have a shower.
Yeah, eating a kebab, it is like performing an operation. Exactly.
Yeah. You're doing a good thing, lad. Keep it up.
Oh god.
We salute you.
As we're getting into this, nothing too crazy. I mean, say that opener. So far, the oracles haven't done anywhere near as much damage. Only 4 drones have gone down, but yeah, we do have the 3rd oracle on the way. We have the transition as well. So far, so good here from Krystianer. Just has to be careful not to lose too much here when it comes to these oracles.
Yeah, definitely has to be a bit more careful with them. I really like Elazer's positioning as well. It does have those 3 queens split off here, but maybe I shouldn't like it so much because it leaves the natural completely exposed. Krystianer very intelligently coming from this angle where he's not bypassing through the main or through the 3rd. Is showing his awareness of Elazer's positioning, but gonna lose an oracle for 6 drones. I'm not sure if that's worth it against any other Zerg. Maybe it would be, but with all the corners that Elazer cuts, I don't think that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. As you were saying, initially this was a really great move out of Krystianer. Initially, he did a lot of damage, but suddenly not so worth it after losing one of those oracles. Meanwhile, the wall is not a wall. The Lings, they bust into the natural, they bust into the main base as well. Probes are going to be going down, and Elazer is just giving himself some breathing room. He's actually going for something very interesting, going for very fast +1 range. He's going for a Roach Warren as well. I'm curious if he plans to be a little bit more aggressive this time.
Yeah, we have a lot of... Well, not a lot. We have 2 Zealots being shown, and that's very strange. And I wonder if Elazer's going to be reading into that.
Yeah, I wonder if he's reading more aggression from his opponents, so he's getting ready for an assault instead. Meanwhile, Krystianer going for his Templar Archives. So once again, he's setting up for, very similarly to last game, going for Immortals, going for Archons. Yeah, almost a repeat.
What's a Twilight? Does he have a Twilight?
Yeah. Just no upgrades.
Huh. Okay.
It's crazy.
Quite weird.
You don't need them.
No.
So fun fact, this is Showtime style. Because Showtime, he goes for his Twilight Council. He delays his upgrades, so he delays Charge, he delays Blink in favor of Archons. So again, a much slower style of PvZ.
Maybe I'm being too critical, but I feel like this is not how you want to play against Elazer.
I think I would agree. But Elazer, he actually is being quite active with his army. We were talking about his earlier Roach Warren and earlier +1, and he's already moving out.
Yeah, seeing something a little bit different coming out from him. So on 70 drones here, going to be pumping out roaches. A bit of an unfortunate supply block here is going to be hurting him, not quite clearing up all that supply that he needs for the roaches. But behind this, pretty quick Spire as well. I wonder if they're going to be seeing a bit of an offbeat muta timing off the back of this. Maybe just taking advantage of forcing in some warpins.
Oh my god, the force fields are insane, and a big chunk of roaches are going to be going down. I was about to say that because this style specifically from Krystianer isn't very active, and I would have agreed with you, right? Like this, I don't think this is good if your opponent is being really greedy, but against a roach push like this, like Krystianer, he's trading so well, especially with this mass Sentry Immortal.
Yeah, Elazer definitely playing into his hands there, and Krystianer doing a fantastic job capitalizing with some beautiful force fields. So I do think Elazer, while it is good to keep up this pressure, he's going to have to be very careful, and I would love to see something greedy coming up behind this. He does have 11 mutas behind this, and I think with all the pressure that he's putting on, he is encouraging Krystianer not to make Archons.
Yeah, as we do see massive Lings once again getting into the main base. The roaches, they slip past as well. We do see a recall to get the Archon on the other side of the wall because it was a little bit too thick. But damage is being done. A big distraction as well as the Lings and roaches do bust into the main base. Probes are finally going down.
Yeah, a lot of probes going to be going down. Elazer does have to be really careful here that he doesn't get too carried away. I could see a counterattack potentially being very dangerous.
It really can be, but you know what? The mutas, they do reveal themselves, and we are so unprepared. No shield batteries, no cannons. The mutas, they actually go straight for the Immortals.
Yeah, I really like this. Taking out the Immortals is going to take a lot of the dangerous parts of this army out. If he can take down a couple more tech units like this Archon, that removes the danger of a counterattack.
It really does. Meanwhile, the fourth base also goes down to the reinforcements. Krystianer is being pulled apart. He just didn't have enough in time. Good force fields once again. Takes a good trade, but he's losing so much to these mutas, and they come back to deal with the army.
Yeah, not much here that shoots up. If these mutas can take out those couple Stalkers and take out the Phoenix as well, it's going to be almost defenseless here for Krystianer. Krystianer does warp in a wave here of Stalkers, and he does have Blink as well, but looks like Elazer has done what he wants to do with these mutas and might just be trading them out for probes at this point.
Yeah, exactly. The mutas, they more than paid for themselves. They allowed Elazer to kill a base, to kill Immortals, to kill Archons, to kill 23 probes as well. The damage has been insane, and behind this, Elazer is remaxing on Ling Roach Ravager, or at least Ling Roach.
Yeah, going to be continuing to put on the pressure. Elazer has been relentless here, and worth pointing out as well, because of this, Krystianer hasn't been able to take a fourth.
Yeah, again, it was canceled earlier. I say canceled. Actually, it was canceled. Wasn't killed, thankfully. But Krystianer, he's contained to only 3 bases. It looks like Elazer is going to wait a little bit longer. Bailing speed is still on the way, so he may just wait for that upgrade to kick in. But for the most part, he's just setting up. He has already remaxed.
Yeah, we've got Bailing Speed and +2 lined up to finish at around the same time. Looks like the muta's going to run in, take out this Oracle. The Oracle just getting a little bit too adventurous there and will be taken out. But at the same time, I feel like Krystianer does need to start getting a 4th up, and yeah, he is getting a 4th up. If he can keep that up as well, that will set him up a little bit better for this Baneling transition, but it's still going to be terrifying.
Oh, no, what? No wall! Okay, thankfully, this time we do warp in just in time. Biles are going to be connecting with at least some of those Immortals. Bailings are looking to finish up, though. That was a little bit close. The army was almost drawn to it. Meanwhile, the 4th base gets denied once again.
Yeah, Ling's going to be running in from the side here. We do have a lot of storms, so Elazer needs to be careful that he doesn't get the Banelings hit by storms now.
Yeah, we're still a couple of seconds away from Bailing Speed finishing up. Krystianer, he wants to chase this down. Bailing Speed has now kicked in. We do see not quite turning around on this army. The Lings, the mutas, they get in once again.
Yeah, Muta's getting back in, getting 5 more probes. I think Elazer definitely is going to want to trade these out at some point here. They don't really add too much to his army, and the army of Krystianer is getting pretty scary, so he's going to need that supply.
Really is. Meanwhile, here we go. The Bailing Rumbas have commenced. Probes are being forced off the mineral line in towards the natural base, but that's where more Bailings are waiting for him.
Yeah, Baneling's going to be trying to get in on top of these probes. The Lings are forcing them into the Banelings. The Banelings get the connections they are looking for. And now we have Krystianer on a terribly low drone count, but probe count, sorry, but that was a lot that got lost for Elazer. I think he needs to hold on to these Banelings. I don't know about this, but wow, he forces those Archons to be morphed in with the sandwich.
And he gets a kill on the Nexus as well. Mutas, they come back into the main base. 19 probes have gone down. Forcing those Archons may have just been enough, as we do see Krystianer is forced all in. There is no turning back around. It's all or nothing here for Krystianer.
And this is the really scary moment. I feel like Elazer committed a little bit too much maybe to that attack. He kind of killed Krystianer more than he needed to. I feel like just the probe damage would have been enough, but he committed a lot to killing the third as well, and I think that might have been a mistake.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you kill a Protoss too hard, sometimes you die. Here we go. The army's pushing forward. A lot of Archons, a lot of Immortals. We can see Elazer, he needs a little bit more time to replace those Banelings. They are on the way. Ooh. He's pushing forward. He does take down one of those Archons.
Yeah, Lings are going to be bled off here. The Banelings are finished. They are going to be getting in. There's no Storm and there's no Force Fields.
Yeah, the Banelings, they do get some decent connections. The Immortals are looking exposed as well. If the Immortals go down, then the Roach army can reign supreme, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah,
Immortals and Archons all going to be focused down. We just have a Gateway army now, and the re-rally of Elazer will deal absolutely fine with that. He has held, but it was pretty scary.
GG, well played, Elazer. He barely defends against the all-in, and he will take the series 2-0, advancing on into the upper bracket finals.
There you go. Very convincing stuff coming out from Elazer. It's not that often you get to see 2 games in a row where the Zerg not only keeps their opponent on 4 bases, but then brings them down to 2 bases.
Really impressive stuff out of Elazer. Again, there's a reason why we say that he is one of the favorite players in this tournament. He is one of the best Zerg players, not just in Poland, but also in all of Europe as well. There were definitely moments there for Krystianer. Definitely, he was able to hold his own for a time, but not for the entirety of the game. At a certain point, things did just unravel and got out of control.
Yeah, that was just a dominating performance.
And GG, well played to Elazer. And he's going to be waiting for the winner of the next series. Geralt versus Spirit was ongoing, if I'm not mistaken. We have an update. Oh, it went to the ace match. Spirit did take down Geralt, but it did go all the way to game 3.
Yeah, Geralt's just a very strong player. I'm not surprised at all to see him taking a game there, but Spirit going to prevail in the end. And we are looking towards possibly a Spirit versus Elazer finals. That would be my prediction, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, something to bear in mind. I do think that, of course, Spirit and Elazer, they are the top 2 players in this tournament, and they should be facing off in the upper bracket finals. Papi is going to be looking to stop him, but even if he doesn't, depending on who gets knocked down to the lower brackets, it's not going to be an easy road here. You know, Geralt forced the ace match. Krystianer can maybe adapt as well. Like, depending on whether Spirit or Elazer get knocked down there, it's not a sure thing that they're going to be able to make it back out into the grand finals of this tournament.
Yeah, that's right. So there's still plenty more game in this bracket. And for us next, we're going to be having Spirit versus Papi, which should be a fantastic TvP. Spirit, as much as he is a bit of a turtle man in some of the other matchups, his TvP is actually really fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. You know, he's willing to be active, he's willing to be aggressive, he's willing to be in your face, and even proxy at times. So I'm really excited to see how Spirit does perform. Likewise, we don't get to cast enough of Papi. Unfortunately, you know, I'd love to have more Papi in my life. But yeah, it's just, I'm not too familiar with his PvT specifically, so I would love to see more. I'd love to see what he has to offer here against Spirit and what his plan is, because obviously Spirit is the favorite player. Papi knows that. Papi's gonna do something about it.
Okay, so what I can tell you is, Papi is from Poland.
Oh, okay.
Poland is in Europe.
Yeah.
And so he's a European Protoss.
Oh.
So what that means?
Hold on. So far, your deductive skills are like they're on point, mate. Okay,
we're getting there. Yeah. So what it means here is his builds are 4-gate Blink and Phoenix Colossus.
So I understand what you're saying. Okay,
and maybe if he thinks he's unfavored enough, we'll see a proxy robo.
Okay. So I hear you. I hear what you're saying, and I agree with the logic. Okay. European Protoss, they have a certain playstyle, and it can be a little bit samey at times, as opposed to some of the other regions out there. But there are exceptions to the rule. Okay, there are exceptions to the rule, and I want to believe that Papi is one of those exceptions. Okay, I want to believe that he's one to stray away from the path, one to do things his own way. I think he showed us a little bit of that against Noxstar. You know, Papi.
This is secretly just a setup, so that when he goes Glaver Depths, we can lose our mind. He's breaking free.
He's crazy, Papi. Oh my god. Do the European Protosses know about this? Do they know that he is straying away from the path? Like they're coming for him, Papi. They're coming for him. Oh.
So I think Showtime recently went Glaver Depths. It was really weird.
Oh.
Against Terran. It was crazy.
That does sound crazy. It does sound crazy.
Like Showtime's on his Serral arc where he just cheeses a little bit as well, so that he can have that reputation.
Yeah. It's a really powerful thing to do. It's really good. It's really good. Yeah. I didn't know that maybe Showtime would be mixing that in. What I think what's important is that if Showtime starts doing something like stuff like that like signals the rest of the Protoss players. They're like, oh, is this legal now? Is this allowed? Okay. And then they're gonna start doing it as well. So, you know, it could be important to bear that in mind.
Yeah, I dream of the day that we will one day see a best of 3 on this map pool that doesn't have 4-gate blink, but I have a feeling it's not going to be this day.
Why didn't you like 4-gate blink? What are you talking about? It's good. It's good.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know if I want to see it every game. It's ruining my replay packs. Every time I go into a replay pack to be like, gee, what's Clem doing in TvP these days? It's like, oh, he's just doing the best build against 4K blink. Okay. I see.
Yeah. Oh god. Well, yeah, I imagine we're gonna be seeing 4-gate blink at some point. But I want to believe that we got something else up our sleeve. Well, regardless, the players, they're gonna need a little bit of time here to get ready, to get prepared on stage. Shout out to, of course, the Polish casters and the Polish community for hosting this event as well. It's really cool to see the stage, and really cool to see the glass booth that they have the players on. Because it's a glass booth, that means that we can look at them from every angle.
Beautiful.
From any angle. Oh,
I see where you're getting at with this. We can go on a break, and you can eat your HSP.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Let's go.
We're gonna be going on a short break. When we return, Spirit versus Papi.
All right, see you soon.
Czy w trakcie ogłoszeń zamiast Marszałkowska 64 możecie mówić Marszałkowska 2 do potęgi 6? Możemy, jak najbardziej.
Możemy próbować, ale...
Także no. W Szczecinie w miarę ciepło, ale pochmurno. No właśnie, nie? Także tak, no niestety jest tak troszeczkę gorąco, ale generalnie rzecz biorąc bardzo gorąco polecam podejść tutaj. Jest naprawdę bardzo fajny klimat, jest dużo ludzi, ja słyszę, że jest dużo ludzi.